I respect Colin Kaepernick, but there's one thing that I don't respect. Brother, you had the biggest opportunity in the world to create jobs, build jobs, give jobs to people.
Here's former Cowboys wide receiver Dez Bryant.
Should Colin Kaepernick get an opportunity to play in the NFL?
Only if he's good enough.
Calling out the most polarizing figure the right manufactured outrage of...
I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed.
That being Colin Kaepernick.
The people that you was talking about, the people that you so-called standing up for, the people who stood beside you, the people who lost their jobs because of you. Where you at?
What Dez is doing is dangerous while also being proven wrong as this clip came out.
Black and brown communities are being disproportionately devastated by COVID-19.
The issue is Dez has a large platform and didn't care to know the facts before speaking. So while Colin continues his journey after being removed from the NFL via the ties from a white supremacist in office to the gatekeepers that run NFL franchises colluding together, Colin's case still pulls the heartstrings. A man who sacrificed his career and livelihood to protest a problem we all know exists in this country. However, those in positions of power refuse to acknowledge these human rights violations plaguing our progression as a society is equally troublesome as it is depressing. You see, Dez Bryant was never a fan of Colin's protests to begin with. When asked his thoughts, he said, "Whatever they got going on with that, that's them. I don't really have nothing to say about that." He did have something to say, however. It's the wrong place and time, he noted of the protests. In another tweet, "I got a family to feed," as to why he does not partake.
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling.
Remember this? Recall Jay-Z starting his own agency in joint partnership with Creative Artists Agency, aka CAA.
Now, Van, you do spend a lot of time, threading the middle and trying to unite people. But there are those who really accuse you of being a political opportunist, a chameleon, so to speak, who provided a racial cover for former disgraced, twice impeached President Trump.
Remember Van Jones? And recall the $89 million agreement the NFL settled on with the players to, quote-unquote, advance social justice causes? You see, the organizations listed on your screen. The name Dream Corps should ring a bell. In 2014, Dream Corps was founded by Van Jones. Van Jones is a client of Roc Nation Sports, as is famed wideout Dez Bryant, also a client of Jay-Z's. Let alone Dez Bryant offered a stronger defense for Tory Lanez than he did Colin Kaepernick. There's a lot to take in here. Recall Dez talking about jobs, jobs, jobs. One of the many charities Colin gave to was Coalition for the Homeless, which helps with job training and supplying life skills needed for employment. Another, Black Veterans for Social Justice, which does many things, one of which is employment training. This is rather simple stuff. Aside from founding the Know Your Rights camp, which from their mission statement advances the liberation and well-being of Black and brown communities through education, self-empowerment, mass mobilization, and the creation of new systems that elevate the next generation of change leaders, Colin donated $1.75 million to COVID relief as well as grants, which will assist in the spaces of living costs and rent relief in many cities. He started and finished the $1 Million Pledge, with donations going to homelessness, education, community police relations, criminal justice reform, inmates' rights, at-risk families, and reproductive rights. Adding on when Jamil Hill wrote, "This is uninformed. Colin has created a publishing company, SPAC, that's raising $300 million for social justice initiatives, a production company, etc. On top of founding the Know Your Rights camp, I don't get the point of dragging his name." Dez perfectly added, "I'm a product of media hate. You could have called me and got a better understanding. I reached out to Cat for years and no response. Raising $300 million would be easy if we had unity amongst athletes." Aside from Dez's Piers Morgan-esque take of he never replied to me because, remember that lack of unity you had with him when all this went down? You kind of showed yourself. As fellow host Benjamin Dixon wrote, "Not everyone who speaks with confidence actually has something to say."